And so today I'm talking about, I had the question about meditation and, how often you should you should meditate in order to see results. And so, to address the first question of how often you should meditate. So, what I have learned, so this is what I have been taught, but also what I have experienced. So, consistency of meditation is more important than the length of time that you meditate. So, I know at the beginning of my practice, and I've been practicing for about 3 to 4 years now, off and on. And since the beginning of this year, I've been consistent with a daily practice. So what I found is that, at the beginning I wanted to do longer meditation periods. There is a benefit to that. There is a benefit to, 25, 35, 45-minute meditations for sure. But at the beginning, the most important thing is consistency. So even if you can only do 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, that is way more important than doing 1 day a week or 1 day a month of 25 to 40-minute meditation. And the reason for that is what my teacher, Caroline DuPont, taught me, and this really helped me to understand, is when we're meditating, we're really helping to kind of make this deep connection between our mind, how we focus our attention in our mind, to what we're feeling, so our body and our experience, sensation, emotions that come through our body, and spirit, which is, energy. And when we meditate, we're able to, and especially when we meditate regularly, we're easier able to connect all three. And so the way she explained it is, it not only helps create that connection, but when we do the type of practice where we start and stop, which I did for a long time, so I understand that, you're kind of allowing, it's like a little tree that's growing roots into the ground and becoming very grounded and bringing that connection to everything. You're growing these little roots, and every time you stop, it's like uprooting the whole tree. And so when you start that practice again, it's like regrowing the roots. And so a consistent practice really allows us to grow roots and helps us to enter into that meditative space easier. And now I'll share my experience on that, because it may, it's I'm not saying that it's a simple enough thing to say to do it every day, but it can be challenging. And I definitely had challenges with this in the beginning of my practice. So, but what I've experienced, because I did the stop-start thing a lot. I noticed when I would meditate, it would feel really good for a while, but the meditation can also bring up things that want to be seen in us, energies that have been stored and are waiting to kind of be unraveled and let go of. Old emotions, old patterns, that kind of thing. And so when we start to sit in meditative practice and we start bringing attention to ourselves, those things want attention, and that can be uncomfortable. And so if we're not prepared for that, we're gonna not want to meditate. because it starts coming up in our lives and it can feel very uncomfortable. And so there was like a lot of start-stopping for me. I'd start, it would feel good, some things would start to come up, and then I would stop, which is actually when I needed the meditation the most. And then this year, when I started my soul coaching course, it was kind of like, for me, when I'm in programs and courses, it's almost like I don't even actually need to be meeting regularly to finally get that kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not motivation, but it's like accountability. That's what it feels like. So like when I know I'm doing this program that's going to require A, B, or C, just joining the program will bring that accountability for me. It's like taking that first step for me. So when I took the first step and I joined the soul coaching program, it was like I was taking that next step, and immediately I felt it a little bit easier for me to stay in my meditation practice, and I focused more on 10 minutes a day. So in the morning I started with 10 minutes, just 10 minutes a day. And there were some mornings I had a hard time waking up, so I would just make sure I did 5 minutes before I went to bed. And even now, that's still what I do. And so what happened is, I really want to explain this. The first, I would say, probably 30 to 50 days, because I kept track of it. I wrote down every day. At the beginning, I had like this grace period where it felt really good. And then I kind of hit this discomfort period. When I would sit in meditation, I would feel really distracted. My legs would get kind of really irritated, and it was a little hard to sit in meditation. It was hard. What I did on those days is sometimes I cut it a little shorter, but what I tried to do is, that was my meditative practice, was bringing that into my experience and making that okay. That's what meditation is. It's not always about clearing our mind or, having a blank slate in our brain. It's bringing attention to our current experience, whatever that is, and being okay with it. So that's what I did. When I had that discomfort, I still sat with it, and I sat as long as I could, because there were times where it was really like almost like restless legs, and I just was like, and sometimes I would do movement in my meditation, and sometimes I would have to cut it short, but I still sat every day for at least 5 to 10 minutes. And once I got past the 30 to 50 days, it was like this switch went off, and I wanted to sit in meditation practice, because it's like those roots had been grown, and it was like there were still days, and there still are days now, where I do get something unraveling and I'm uncomfortable and agitated, but then it was like I almost wanted to run away from it. Now I want to sit with it, and I want to give it the space it needs, because when I do that, I know that it's going to get what it needs, and it becomes like less prominent a lot of times, and not always, but it's like, before I would get uncomfortable and I'd want to run away from the uncomfortable, because that was a pattern, and I think it's a pattern for a lot of people. We're not taught how to be uncomfortable, or what to do with discomfort. We go to numbing and ignoring whatever's going on. And for me, my meditation practice is to help change that pattern. So before, when I was running away, and now it's like, okay, I'm uncomfortable. I'm going to bring attention and love and acceptance to that discomfort. So that was my experience. It was like a 30 to 50 day, which I will say that the beginning part of that was quite easy. But then once I hit like the 20 to 40 day, it was a little challenging here and there. And it wasn't always, but there were challenging days. And then once I hit kind of like 40 to 50, I think, days, it would just I kind of slipped into this more comfortable, where I wanted to be in meditation, because being in meditation is like that part of the day, or parts of the day if I do more than one practice, where I'm fully focused on my current experience for an amount of time. And our bodies are constantly crying for attention. And so when I sit in that meditation, it's like, oh, okay, I'm getting the attention that the deeper self of me, my body, is getting the attention it's been craving. It's like, yoo-hoo, over here. And as I go about my day and I'm focusing on work, or I'm, doing this or thinking about this, I'm not noticing that. So in meditation, it's like that attention that I need. It's kind of a feeling of love almost. But yeah, so that's been my experience with meditation and a consistent practice. And so I will say that if I'm having a really hard day, really busy day, at the end of the day, I try to just close with 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes. And I just, put a timer on, I sit in my bed, and I just bring attention to my current experience. What am I feeling? What does my body feel like? Am I feeling any emotions? And then I just, make that all okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed now. And so that's what I found to be really helpful. And, my last point is the most important thing is that you start where you are. So if all you can do is start with 5 minutes a day, then start with 5 minutes a day. My sweet spot right now, ideally, is 25 minutes. Sometimes I do that 2 times a day, but I worked up to that. And your sweet spot might be different. So just start where you're at. Even if you can only do 3 minutes, start with 3 minutes and build yourself up. It's kind of like anything else that we start out new, exercise, eating healthy. You don't have to go all the way to 50 minutes. I don't sit for 50 minutes unless I'm usually in like a silent meditation retreat, or if I've had a few days where I was really called to just sit. But 25 minutes is usually my sweet spot, and there are days where all I can do is 5 or 10, and that's okay too. So you start where you're at, and that's what you should do. Not what you should do, but start where you're at, and wherever that is perfectly okay. So that was my video for today. I thank you for watching, especially those who are live with me today. I really appreciate that. So if you find this video helpful, if you have any questions, definitely, comment, send a message, share it with somebody if you think they might find it helpful. And if you enjoyed this episode, I do actually have a special gift. I created a short meditation kind of with a specific purpose in mind when you're kind of feeling overwhelmed and stressed. So like if you're having like an immediate like crazy moment and you're like everything feels kind of overwhelming and crazy and you just kind of need to kind of take a moment for yourself, I created a meditation. It's under 10 minutes. You could just like, it's something that if I was really even stressed at work or if I was out in the world, I just, I bring my earphones pretty much everywhere with me. Find a quiet spot, put the earphones in, and just do this meditation and kind of, ooh, water. Jeez. Okay. Some energy was coming out through my throat chakra, I guess. Ooh. Okay. So, if you're interested in this meditation, you can go to www.jennberkelmans, which is JENNBerkelmans.com/overwhelm stress meditation. You can also on Instagram click my bio and the link in my bio, and that will take you to the option for the meditation. And if you're on YouTube, this will be in the notes underneath the episode. All right. Well, thank you all for being here with me today, my friends. Until next time, remember, it's about loving yourself where you are right now so that you can get where you want to go. With curiosity and compassion always, one step at a time, one change at a time. Sending lots of love to you on this beautiful, warm, hot, muggy Saturday. Bye, friends.